There is a moment when trying harder stops being love, loyalty, or kindness and quietly turns into self-abandonment. You send another message because the last one was ignored. You explain yourself again because you think they misunderstood you. You become more available, more patient, and more forgiving, hoping that your effort will somehow bring back the value you once felt in their eyes. But here is the uncomfortable truth. When someone has stopped appreciating your presence, giving them even more of yourself rarely creates the result you want. In many cases, it does the opposite. It teaches them that they can give you less while still receiving more from you. And that is where the simple trick in this video changes everything. Instead of chasing their attention, you quietly take your attention back. No dramatic goodbye, no angry message, no attempt to make them jealous, no games designed to make them panic. You simply stop doing all the emotional work alone and begin matching reality instead of fighting against it. In this video, you will learn how to recognize the subtle signs that someone no longer values your effort, why constantly trying to prove your worth can make you feel even less valued, and how stepping back can reveal the truth about a relationship faster than another long conversation ever could. You will also discover what happens when you stop being endlessly available, why some people suddenly become more interested when your attention is no longer guaranteed, and why that reaction does not always mean they have genuinely changed. Most importantly, you will learn how to tell the difference between someone who truly wants to rebuild the connection and someone who simply misses having easy access to you. That distinction can save you from repeating the same emotional cycle again and again. The most powerful part is that this isn't really about making another person chase you. It is about reaching the point where their attention no longer determines your value. Because once you stop chasing, you start observing. Once you stop explaining, you start noticing. And once you stop overgiving, their real level of effort becomes impossible to hide. So stay until the end, because the final lesson may completely change the way you respond when someone begins treating you like an option instead of a priority. Welcome to our channel, where we explore psychology, human behavior, emotional patterns, and the hidden reasons behind the way people treat each other. If you want to understand people without losing yourself in the process, subscribe to the channel and stay with us, because this is where the real shift begins. Before you decide that someone no longer values you, there is one important mistake you need to avoid: confusing a single moment with a repeated pattern. One unanswered message does not prove that someone has stopped caring. A delayed reply does not automatically mean you have become unimportant. People get busy, people become distracted, people go through difficult periods. Sometimes someone simply needs space. The real warning sign appears when the same behavior keeps happening, and you are constantly left feeling like you are the only person trying to keep the connection alive. That is when you need to stop focusing on one conversation and start looking at the entire pattern. Ask yourself what happens most of the time, not just what happened today. Do they consistently take your effort for granted? Do they only appear when they need advice, attention, help, or emotional support? When you talk about your feelings, do they listen, or do they quickly dismiss what you are saying? When there is distance between you, are you always the one trying to repair it? When you stop initiating, does the relationship suddenly become silent? These questions reveal much more than one missed call ever could. A relationship becomes unhealthy when one person repeatedly gives while the other becomes comfortable receiving. You may notice that you remember their important dates, check on them when they are struggling, make time when they need you, and adjust your plans to accommodate them, while they rarely make the same effort for you. Slowly you may begin accepting less because you remember how things used to be. You keep comparing the present to the beginning. You think about how attentive they once were, how often they contacted you, how interested they seemed, and you keep hoping that the old version of the relationship will return. But a person's current behavior tells you more than their past behavior. This is why patterns matter. You cannot build your emotional decisions around occasional moments of affection while ignoring months of inconsistency. And once you recognize that pattern, the next step is not to become colder. It is to stop overgiving. This is the simple trick that changes the entire dynamic. Instead of constantly exceeding their level of effort, you begin matching reality. If they communicate occasionally, you do not need to spend every day trying to create conversations. If they rarely initiate, you do not need to carry the entire relationship on your shoulders. If they make little time for you, you do not need to repeatedly rearrange your life just to remain available whenever they suddenly appear. This does not mean becoming rude. It does not mean ignoring them. It does not mean playing psychological games. And it certainly does not mean trying to make them jealous. The purpose is much simpler. You stop giving more than the relationship can reasonably hold. There is a major difference between caring about someone and becoming overinvested in their response to you. Caring says, I value you, and I want to treat you well. Overinvestment says, I need your response to feel secure about myself. That difference can quietly control your entire emotional life. When you become overinvested, you begin monitoring everything. You notice how quickly they reply. You analyze the number of words they use. You wonder why their message sounded colder than yesterday. You check whether they viewed your message. You start wondering whether you should send another one. Your attention becomes trapped inside their behavior, and the more attention you give to their reactions, the more power those reactions seem to have over your emotional state. A simple message can suddenly make your entire day better. A period of silence can make you anxious. A little affection can make you believe everything is fine again. Then another period of distance can make you question your value. This creates an emotional cycle where someone else appears to hold the remote control to your mood. The psychological shift begins when you take that control back. You stop asking, what can I do to make them treat me differently? And start asking, what does their behavior tell me about what I should accept? That is a completely different question. It moves your attention away from controlling another person and back toward managing your own choices. Healthy boundaries work in the same direction. A boundary is not a weapon. It is not a punishment. It is a clear decision about what you are willing to participate in and what you are no longer willing to tolerate. If someone repeatedly ignores you, your boundary may be that you stop chasing conversations. If someone constantly expects your availability but gives you none of theirs, your boundary may be that you stop dropping everything whenever they call. If someone repeatedly dismisses your feelings, your boundary may be that you stop having the same conversation over and over while nothing changes. Notice the difference. You are not telling them what they must do. You are deciding what you will do. That is what makes a boundary powerful. You cannot force someone to respect you, but you can decide what you will do when they repeatedly fail to show respect. And this is also why you should not announce your withdrawal with a dramatic speech. You do not need to send a paragraph saying, I am done with you, followed by an explanation of every disappointment you have experienced. You do not need to threaten to disappear. You do not need to tell them that they will regret losing you. Those statements often turn the situation into another battle for attention. Instead, let your behavior become quieter. If you normally initiate every conversation, stop carrying that responsibility alone. If you always make yourself available, start protecting your own time. If you constantly explain your feelings to someone who refuses to listen, stop repeating yourself endlessly. You are not disappearing to punish them. You are simply refusing to force a connection that should contain mutual effort. This is where something interesting can happen. When your constant effort disappears, the other person may suddenly notice the difference. They may contact you more. They may ask why you are quieter. They may become curious about what changed. But do not immediately treat their reaction as proof that they suddenly value you. Sometimes people miss your attention without truly appreciating you. There is a difference between missing access to someone and valuing the person themselves. That distinction is extremely important. If someone only becomes interested when you stop giving them unlimited attention, watch what happens after the first reaction. Do they become more consistent? Do they start making genuine effort? Do they listen differently? Do they respect your time? Do they show concern even when they do not need anything from you? Or do they simply give you a small amount of attention to pull you back into the same pattern? Your job is not to punish them or reward them. Your job is to observe. When you stop explaining your worth, their actions become easier to read. You no longer need to spend hours analyzing every sentence because the larger pattern becomes visible. And this is where your boundary becomes the real trick. A boundary can sound simple in your mind. I will not keep chasing someone who consistently ignores me. I will not continue giving when there is no meaningful reciprocity. I will not keep proving that I deserve basic respect. These statements are not demands directed at another person. They are commitments you make to yourself. They tell you what you will do when the same pattern appears again. Without a boundary, you may recognize the problem but still repeat it. You notice that someone keeps taking advantage of your availability, yet you answer every time. You notice that they rarely initiate, yet you keep starting conversations. You notice that they dismiss your feelings, yet you keep explaining them in different ways, hoping that the next explanation will finally make them understand. A boundary interrupts that cycle. It creates a pause between what someone does and how quickly you react. That pause gives you something you may have lost: choice. Instead of responding automatically, you can ask yourself whether your response supports your own standards. Instead of asking how to keep someone interested, you can ask whether their behavior deserves continued access to your time and energy. This is where pulling your attention back becomes more than a relationship tactic. It becomes an act of emotional independence. Your life stops revolving around whether another person is available, distant, affectionate, cold, interested, or indifferent. You still care, you still notice, but you are no longer controlled by every change in their behavior. Their silence becomes information rather than an emergency. Their attention becomes pleasant rather than necessary. Their distance becomes something you can observe rather than something that automatically makes you question yourself. And once you reach that point, the relationship begins revealing itself without you having to force an answer. You can finally see whether there is mutual effort beneath the connection, or whether you were the person keeping it alive all along. You can see whether they approach you because they genuinely value your presence, or because they became uncomfortable when your attention was no longer guaranteed. You can see whether their behavior changes consistently or only temporarily. And most importantly, you can begin responding to what is actually happening, instead of responding to what you hope will happen. The goal was never to become unavailable so someone would chase you. The goal is to stop making yourself endlessly available to someone who repeatedly shows you that they do not value what you give. Now comes the part that most people misunderstand. Once you stop overgiving and pull your attention back, something will usually become clearer, but the outcome is not always the one you expect. There are 3 common possibilities, and each one gives you useful information about the relationship. The first possibility is that they notice. They may suddenly realize that the person who was always available is no longer constantly reaching out. They may send a message. They may ask why you have become quieter. They may suddenly show more interest in your life. Perhaps they start checking on you more often, replying faster, or making an effort to spend time with you. This can feel powerful because you finally see the reaction you were secretly hoping for. But this is where you need emotional discipline. Do not mistake a reaction for a transformation. One message does not erase months of behavior. One emotional conversation does not automatically mean someone has changed. One night of attention does not prove that they now understand your value. The real evidence is consistency. Watch what happens over time. Do they continue making an effort when you stop chasing them? Do they respect your boundaries without becoming angry? Do they show interest even when they do not need anything from you? Do they make room for your needs as well as their own? These questions matter because temporary attention can be very convincing. Someone can suddenly become warm when they feel you slipping away, then return to the same old behavior once they feel secure again. If you immediately rush back into your old role, you may accidentally restore the exact pattern that made you feel unvalued in the first place. So if they notice, stay calm. You do not need to punish them. You do not need to act cold. You simply allow their actions to speak. Let them show you what their effort actually looks like when you are no longer carrying the relationship alone. The second possibility is that they test you. This is more subtle. They may give you just enough attention to see whether you are still emotionally available in the same way. Maybe they send a casual message after days of silence. Maybe they suddenly become affectionate. Maybe they say they miss you. Maybe they ask what you have been doing. And because you have been waiting for this moment, you may feel an immediate rush of relief. You might think, finally they noticed. Then you give them everything again. You respond instantly. You become available again. You start initiating conversations. You cancel your plans. You return to over-explaining and over-giving. And within a short time, the old dynamic returns. This is why consistency matters more than intensity. Someone can give you intense attention for one day and still provide almost no real effort over the next month. Real change is usually visible through repeated behavior. It does not need to be announced every few hours. It shows itself naturally through reliability. If someone genuinely values the relationship, you will eventually see more balance. You will not have to constantly remind them that you exist. You will not have to create distance just to receive basic attention. You will not have to disappear before they remember to look for you. Their effort will become part of the relationship, rather than a temporary reaction to losing access to you. And if they test you, you do not need to pass their test. You are not trying to prove that you can make them chase you. You are trying to discover whether they can meet you halfway. That is a completely different goal. The third possibility is the one many people fear most. Nothing happens. You stop initiating. You stop overgiving. You stop making yourself constantly available. And there is no sudden message. No dramatic realization. No attempt to repair the relationship. No moment where they finally understand what they lost. At first, this can hurt deeply because silence can feel like rejection. You may start questioning everything. You may wonder whether you should have tried harder. You may feel tempted to send one final message just to get an answer, but there is another way to understand that silence. Sometimes the absence of a reaction is itself information. If you stop doing all the work and the entire connection disappears, you may discover that you were not losing their attention. You were discovering the truth about the amount of mutual effort that existed in the first place. Perhaps you were holding together something that the other person had already stopped maintaining. That realization can hurt, but it can also free you, because now you no longer have to spend your energy trying to revive something by yourself. You have evidence, you have clarity. And clarity is often more valuable than false hope. This is also where you must be careful not to turn distance into a manipulation game. Pulling back should never become a secret strategy designed to make someone panic. Do not disappear just so they will worry. Do not ignore messages because you want to make them jealous. Do not pretend to be busy when you are actually sitting there watching your phone. Do not create fake mystery around your life. Do not post things simply to make someone think you are happier without them. Those behaviors may create a reaction, but they do not create a healthy relationship. They simply replace one form of chasing with another. You may stop chasing them directly, while secretly chasing their reaction. You may spend the entire day wondering whether they noticed your silence, whether they saw your post, whether they are thinking about you, or whether they will finally send a message. That is not freedom. That is still emotional dependence, just wearing a different disguise. The real question is not, how can I make them chase me? The deeper question is, why was I chasing someone who was not choosing me? That question changes the entire direction of your thinking. It forces you to examine your own behavior, rather than trying to control theirs. Maybe you were afraid of losing them. Maybe you believed that giving more would eventually make them appreciate you. Maybe you thought patience would fix everything. Maybe you were trying to earn the same effort you were already giving freely. Whatever the reason, the answer is not to become bitter. The answer is to become more aware. Once you understand this, you can start rebuilding the part of yourself that became too focused on another person's attention. Think about how much energy can disappear into one person. You can spend hours thinking about what they meant. You can lose focus because you are waiting for a message. You can delay your own goals because you are always available for theirs. You can neglect friendships because one relationship has become the center of your emotional world. You can even begin measuring your value through someone else's behavior. Rebuilding yourself means taking that energy back. Put it into your goals. Put it into your health. Put it into your work. Spend time with people who genuinely enjoy your presence. Learn something new. Improve your skills. Take care of your body. Protect your peace. Build routines that make your life meaningful even when nobody is texting you. This is where self-respect becomes practical. Self-respect is not simply telling yourself that you deserve better. It is making decisions that reflect that belief. If you believe your time matters, you stop giving it away without limits. If you believe your feelings matter, you stop repeatedly placing them in situations where they are dismissed. If you believe your standards matter, you stop lowering them every time you fear losing someone. Your behavior becomes the evidence of what you believe about yourself, and slowly, another psychological shift begins. You stop asking, "Do they value me?" every few minutes because you begin asking a